Hello, everybody. Paul McFarland here again, talking about, come on, don't you know by now? Chiat, greatest agency in the history of the world so far. So far. Going into the 50 book, talking about something, one of my favorite things about Chiat and its culture that isn't really talked about in much detail, and that is the t-shirts. What is it about Chiat and the t-shirts that at least used to be a thing? Well, it starts with being from Los Angeles in the first place, T-shirts, LA, warm weather, loose freedom, the beach. Now, arguably, Tampa, Clearwater, that part of Florida is the t-shirt capital of the universe. Go there sometime and you'll see. But LA, the culture of t-shirts. Remember, this is a time when advertising agencies still, you wore shirts and ties and everything was stiff and formal. In LA, they kind of let it all hang out. And t-shirts, t-shirts, t-shirts. And I always say, you don't have a brand until you can express it on a t-shirt. I think Lee would always agree with that. Or a bumper sticker. And so t-shirts were handed out just as fun gifts. They just because you were an employee, and they commemorated particular events and particular birthdays and anniversaries and winning clients and all sorts of things, expressed their culture. And most of the t-shirts came from a certain person in certain realms, and ideas for t-shirts were passed around and suggested. Some were done on their own, But the importance of t-shirts, what did they mean now? And what does that now? I mean, what did they mean then, now? And what do we do instead of t-shirts? Instead of t-shirts, we put things on TikTok and LinkedIn that say, go team, go team, go team, wonderful team, great team. One of the first shirts here just says Chiat Day, and the back says sweat shirt. They had one that says innovate or die, and dying is not an option. I kind of co-opted that. I love that. The Agency of the Year shirt, 1980. One that I wish I had, and I don't have these, and I wish I did, is, oh, come on, where is it? Where is it? There it is, right here. The best one. I wish I had this one, and I don't. That's the one I want. If anyone has one, I don't care what shape it's in, contact me. This is not even a tenth of all the shirts, but they commemorated campaigns, like the Chihuahua, where that. When they wanted the Beldings, they had it's the collie with the cigarette, afterwards, was it good for you? They're celebrating Lee's birthday with Hank Hinton's, cartoon of Lee. Don't shoot me, I work at Chiat on the camo style one. What doesn't show on here, believe it or not, I think God, Guts, and Creativity. I have a version of that one. Of course, I do have the Good Enough is Not Enough. And they came in all different colors, but I had the dark blue because there's a reason why I had that color. Now, what's missing here in this picture, and I think there's a reason why it's not on here, was the Chiat Day and Night. We can close the book at this point. We're going to talk about that. See, culture back then was an internal thing. I'll say it again. Culture back then was an internal thing. You had to be working there to understand the culture, to get the t-shirt, to do anything. Maybe your suppliers, maybe the clients, and that was it. It was our world. It was almost unspoken. Sometimes it was spoken on a t-shirt. The Chiat Day and Night was a badge of honor. There were those who worked all the time because it was the thing to do. There were those who expressed it because they knew That was their standard. You worked as long as necessary to make the work the best it could be. No, you didn't have a party life. You didn't have a personal life. You might have been a bachelor, maybe going through divorce, but the work was it. And some people, just because they thought it was cool to look like you were part of the crowd. And then there were some who deeply resented that idea. If you don't show up for work on Saturday, don't even bother coming in on Sunday, right? Lee had that sort of feeling very much so. He and Eileen didn't have their own kids, if they ever fought about his years away in accumulation, away from home, I don't know. It's his personal life. But some people, obviously, with their home life, would have had a deep difficulty with that kind of long-term overtime. And they may have resented it, and they may have had such resentment that they left to go somewhere else just for more money. But those people who were there for the purity of the work is what makes the agency what it was. I'm sorry to say what it was, but we'll talk about that. See, back then, agencies had a culture that was internalized. If you weren't part of it, you didn't get it. It was very much, there were walls, and only a few could get in. But now, all the agencies, because of LinkedIn and social media, saying, hey, here we are, great team, look at here, we're showing this, everything's exposed. Everything in social media now, wonder and mystery has disappeared because we're shown everything through a lens of what we want you to see. As I said, the making of and everything, and the talks and the this and the awards and the people, it's all just so visible. It's so visible and so obvious. It's so obvious, which makes it average, which makes it ordinary. The pirate thing. Anyone who worked at Chiat back then knew about the pirate thing. It was internalized largely. Again, unless it was a case of special clients who got the t-shirt or got invited to the parties, it was largely an internal thing, which made it more meaningful and special. When you went to like the Beldings and you saw the people from their agencies, it was very much us versus them. The other agencies then, they were Chiat. God, those fuckers, they win all the awards. Oh, I hate them. I want to work there. Right? You want to work there because you want to do that work, but you can't because you're not good enough or whatever, you see? The healthy competitiveness and owning who you are. And now all agencies are essentially feel the same because they're all so public and they're all so sharing because, oh my God, you can't, what we tell our clients, do we do with ourselves? Do we treat ourselves like our clients? Physician, heal thyself. Back then, I don't think there was anyone who called themselves, I'm a pirate at Chiat. No. But now, officially, you say, our pirates, the pirates, and I'm the newest pirate. And it's like, Hey, I love this agency. That's why I'm saying this. I love the people of this agency. And because I love them, I refuse to lie. I have to tell the truth. And when I think things have been diluted, and I think things are wandering, and I think things have missed the core of what you should all be about, I'm not going to bullshit. That means you can fucking trust me. You can trust me all the way. The fact that the culture of what it meant more fun to be the pirates than the Navy, the more you talk about and play with it, the weaker it gets. But you see, again, we're in social media. We got to externalize everything in social media or people will forget about us. Really. Well, wouldn't it be interesting if an agency won all the awards, won all the pencils, won all at Cannes, and never posted anything on social media? Won every bowl, every trophy, got in CA, one show, won all the awards, but never promoted it. Never, ever had a video about it or a post about it. Great team. What would that be like? Wouldn't it drive most people crazy to want to know about them? Remember when Mother didn't even have really a website? It was just sort of an image and you couldn't find anything about them. Have you ever been to an agency that was the hot agency and they had a site where you really couldn't get into it? Didn't it drive you crazy to want to know more? But now everything is externalized and open and obvious and average and boring and the same. If you take something that is private and internalized, something that is intimate, private, powerful, and prideful, it's delicate and it has to be cared for really well. And the whole idea of the pirates, whatever, I don't think it's been really considered. It's just been run off the edge of the earth because why not? There's something about when they changed the logo to this pirate, skull and crossbones, which showed up first, I think, on the basketball court, at Advertising City. Maybe Lee drove it, I don't know. But the original one that was the God, Guts, and Creativity one, the very first one, the one that I copied and made my own flag of that. I wonder if I still have that flag somewhere. I bet I do. Hand painted it just like theirs. It looked like a good movie prop from any pirate movie. It was that good. And when they made the kind of slicker thing, I got nervous about that because it all started with the flag, which is in the book here. Let's see how quickly I can find it. That was actually made by Apple employees who were working on the Macintosh project. Because see, at Apple, those were people who broke away from the normal Apple place. They went into a special building to work on Macintosh, and this is the actual flag that flew over that. See? Very punk. Very, 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 very punk. And you go from that to this, which is kind of logo-like and slick and vector. It loses a lot of the charm. And charm is really important when you come down to culture. So the t-shirts, again, are something you wear. You might wear it when you're not at work, if there is such a time. You might wear it to the beach or shopping, and someone might see that interesting t-shirt. What is Chiat Day, or what is Chiat Day, or what is that, right? A t-shirt is a great branding exercise for the world, but internal. If you're trying to motivate your employees or galvanize them around a culture, do you even know what your culture is? Do you know what your culture is? Is the culture that just happens, or is a culture that comes top down? There's two kinds of cultures. Top down. Would Steve like it? At Apple. Would Steve like it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Very binary. Clear. Top down. Other cultures are more like an armature, the framework. Think of a Christmas tree and ornaments being hung on it by middle managers and departments that can express the basic framework of values in their own way. Many think that's healthier. But the point is, when you have a culture that is based on what you believe and how you do it, and if you are together as a community, arm in arm, so when you gain a piece of business, you celebrate together. When you lose a piece of business, you fight and you go get new business together. Instead of everyone being a free agent and having all their side hustles, and everyone on LinkedIn, you can see they stayed a year and a quarter, a year and a half, 6 months, a year and a half. The people who are dedicated, like Lee, never could figure out why. What does it take to get commitment here? He said that so many times. What does it take for people to really believe in this? See, believing in a culture, believing in value system. I'm not the president of a shop with 150 employees, no. But I understand culture because I've done culture exercises in the bowels and in the high-rung offices of the global Fortune 500 with CEOs and world leaders that most people can't even imagine. Culture is something you have to understand before you can ever express it. And Chiat Day had a culture that was so notorious and sexy and cool. And it was hard to find out about. Like, again, this is not just advertising. One of my other obsessions, if you don't know me, also something that began in 1968, Led Zeppelin. Growing up, Led Zeppelin, there would maybe one interview, 2 interviews a year. You'd scour the magazines for any pictures. It was hard to find out about. Now in social media, every day, someone's finding something new or an article or reposting an article. I'm up to here with Led Zeppelin. And that's what's really interesting. If you're overexposed to something, it loses its charm. Why do we not trust mystery? Why do we not trust mystery? The culture of Chiat Day expressed on those t-shirts was notorious, audacious, ballsy, rebellious, smartass, and a lot of inside jokes. It was turned inward. We are who we are. We speak our own language. It's us against everybody else. Now, every agency, with maybe one or two exceptions, you know who you are, is basically all the same. We got this account, we got this team, we won this award, here we are, here's our thing, so-and-so talked here. It all looks the same in social media. It looks the same, and it's expressing the same thing in the same level. Now, if agencies will have videos taken from the men's room of the newest employee who's scared or intimidated, it might be interesting. Or if you actually followed a person driving home from their car late at night talking about what it was like to work on, that might be interesting. But that kind of high-level, polished, plastic, kind of everything's great kind of stuff. Again, if you follow these videos at all, what about those ads that the guy today wrote, most of them, that were about when they lost a piece of business? Talking about losing a business is a perfect time to express who you are and what you really believe in. Every big agency just looks exactly the same in their positioning. If I was a client, I would spin the wheel and pick one. I'm going to get approximately the same thing. No matter what they say they're all about, Chiat, they had something so powerful. They weren't the biggest agency in the world, but they were arguably the best. When they did work, people noticed. Not just people in Ad Week and Ad Age and the award books, the world noticed. That's the kind of famous work a culture is about. Now, you may like a different agency. Well, tell me, what is their culture all about? And can it be expressed publicly as well as it can be expressed internally? T-shirts. You wear them. You have to want to wear them. They have to say something that you believe in and you love so much. I would love to take some of the biggest agencies in the world that claim to be creative and be their agency for a month and show each one if they have a reason for being and what really makes them who they are, and show them how to express that. And 9 out of 10 of them, I'd tell them to shut the hell up. Go off of social media for a while. Be interesting. Win your awards. Do your work. Oh, maybe we'll get an interview every once in a while about something you land, but stop posting on social media. Disappear. But do better work and see what happens. We're human beings that are first animals, and like animals, we pursue that which recedes away from us. But does anybody trust that anymore?